On a cold night, you're rushing home, and suddenly you see an old man sitting curled up on a bench. You wonder why an old man was sitting outside in such a cold night. Curiosity and compassion compel you to approach and start a conversation with him. You ask him why he still sits here in a late cold night. He replies wearily that he was lost, unable to return home because his eyes are blind. He also did not have any relatives at all. Looking at the man, who is the same age as your father, you feel sympathy for him. You ask if he is hungry and suggest to offer him a meal. The old man raises his face to show appreciation, revealing an intimidating face. You can see 2 black eye sockets that look hollow. He has no eyes. He doesn't feel hungry and begs you to take him home. Of course, you agree without hesitation. You and the old man chat comfortably during the walk home. After taking him to his house, you intend to say goodbye to him and go home. However, the man begs you to stay a while and have dinner with him because he feels so lonely. Although you are hesitant about it, you accept his invitation. It is strange that he cooks very well despite his blindness. Especially, the stew is delicious and unique. You've never eaten such a delicious dish. After the meal, you say goodbye to him and intend to leave, and suddenly, you get tired and fall asleep on the sofa. A moment later, you wake up and see a human figure in front of you. No, it is not the blind old man. It is a creature like a human, but tall, bizarre, and extremely frightening. It approaches you slowly. You struggle to get up, but your limbs are numb. Of course, that damned blind old man had put something in the food. The monster slowly opens its disgusting mouth on its stomach. It uses 2 long arms to shove you into its stomach. And now you know that escaping from this damned place is impossible, and accept a painful death in vain. That terrifying monster is SCP-957. A humanoid entity that currently resides in a home in Kentucky. This organism measures approximately 2 meters in height and 75 kilograms in weight and appears to be devoid of internal organs, as observed via a large opening on its ventral torso. Furthermore, it does not appear to require sleep or nourishment. Interaction with personnel has shown that the entity is capable of speech and is fluent in English, but prefers to talk in a currently unknown language. It is not openly hostile toward Foundation personnel, yet often refuses to cooperate with interviews and testing. Attempts to restrain SCP-957 for these purposes have proven ineffective due to the entity's disproportionate level of strength. SCP-957 will always reside in a house inhabited by a single human, hereby designated SCP-957-1. When the instance of SCP-957-1 that SCP-957 is living with dies, the entity will demanifest from the location and reappear in the nearest location inhabited by a human. Upon doing this, it will seek out the individual residing there and force the human's body through an apparent portal via its chest cavity, where the subject will remain for approximately 4 hours before emerging. After this, SCP-957-1 will be missing its eyes as well as exhibit drastic changes to its memory. These individuals will believe that they have been blind all of their life and possess knowledge of Braille and living without sight. Additionally, they will believe that SCP-957 is a close family member, a dear friend, or a partner in an intimate relationship that had been severely burned all over its body. As such, they show affection for the entity but refuse to touch it. Once every month, SCP-957-1 will go into crowded areas and feign distress due to its blindness. It appears to do this in order to deceive people into helping it back to its house. Once SCP-957-1 has successfully lured a human subject into the building, it will lock the doors, shout, walk to the dining room, and sit down until SCP-957 addresses it after dealing with the human. At this point, SCP-957 will approach the human, and a black, spherical barrier will surround the 2 subjects. This obstruction is composed of an unknown substance and is apparently impenetrable. This structure usually remains in place for approximately 5 hours. However, it has been noted to demanifest as early as 30 minutes after manifestation and as late as 27 hours after manifestation. The human normally appears to have undergone extreme physical alteration during this time. In 30% of observed cases, the human is reduced to piles of organs seemingly organized by their respective biological system. SCP-957 usually then uses these remains to prepare a meal for SCP-957-1. The other 70% are taken to the fireplace of the house and burned. The Foundation has launched many investigations regarding suspicious activities of SCP-957. On October 16, 2006, SCP-957 was noted to approach a retrieved human during the normal monthly event. The opaque barrier normally surrounding the subjects manifested as usual. However, it was noted to randomly become transparent, yet still present, during this event. Personnel reported that the view from the area showed a scene with a group of entities resembling SCP-957, gathered around a conical object that was mostly obscured by the figures. However, it appeared that the captured human was within the construct, and this continued for approximately 5 hours. At this point, the human, presumably dead, was removed from the object, dismembered, and sorted into piles of organs. At this point, the barrier demanifested and SCP-957, along with the human remains, reappeared within the house. As of March 13, 2007, Foundation linguists have managed to translate enough of SCP-957's language to decipher basic sentences and phrases spoken by the entity. This information is not to be made known to SCP-957, and personnel are to continue to communicate with it solely in English. On June 6, 2008, SCP-957 was noted to engage in an extended conversation in its native language with an unseen individual. The audio from this exchange was recorded by hidden audio and video recording devices within the house, translated by Foundation linguists and transcribed below.
How much longer do I have to stay here? It will be a while, brother. Your disguise is working wonderfully, and your plan is extremely convincing, much better than the old one. And you still get to talk in our language freely, right?
True.
It is just boring and tiresome down here. No wonder the old one destroyed his body. These physical forms are so painful.
Patience. We have to let them watch the few so that the family can work freely. We will be done with our research soon enough. Do not worry.
Understood.
Excellent. I will speak to you at the next time. Speaking of which, you should create another false scenario again.
Yes, sometime soon. I will see you next time.
Regarding the dialogue above, the Foundation discovered that all current activities of SCP-957 were intended to distract the Foundation. It has a bigger plan, threatening the human existence. Currently, SCP-957 is to be monitored via remote video surveillance set up within the location where it currently resides. Personnel are allowed to approach and interview the entity when given clearance by 4 Level 3 or higher employees. One D-Class subject is to inhabit the closest residence to SCP-957's location as possible in order to maintain civilian exposure to the entity. SCP-957's house is to be monitored for signs of SCP-957-1 exhibiting unusual behavior, namely feigning helplessness due to blindness. If this is observed, a D-Class subject is to be sent to escort SCP-957-1 back into its house. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon, and never miss an update.